Hello, everyone. Good to see you all here. I am so excited to have you here and to be a part of this amazing masterclass. I'm I know that there are going to be some people that are watching the replay. So for those of you that can't join us, I completely understand. You have to work, life, things get the best of you, the time difference. So either way, thank you for joining me. I would love for you all to also engage with me. So if you have any questions or any comments, I ask that you just put it in the comments and I will make sure that I get to that as soon as possible. I love just feeling your energy and really thrive off of it. So if there's a question or anything that you need more clarity on, speak up. I'm so happy that you are here and that you were able to make it live. And for those of you that have not come to one of my master classes before, thank you, thank you, thank you. My name is Avni Patel, and I am a life and leadership coach as well as a hypnotherapist. And my mission here is to really help people live empowered lives where they feel like they're in control of their lives instead of life controlling them, and that they're designing their life their way and not the way that other people expect them to. So I'm going to go on a little bit more into this later on in the masterclass. But for now, thank you for joining me, whether you've been in my other master classes or whether it's your first time. I truly appreciate you taking the time to be here with me. And I also want you to know that there is a journal prompt or journaling guide that you're going to get afterwards, and it's going to give you some prompts based on what I've talked about today. So if you can just watch this, that's good. But if you watch this and do the journal prompts, you're going to get so much more out of this masterclass. So I hope that you can do both. And I'm always open to hearing what you got, your ahas from your journal prompts. So when we end this, I'll send you the replay as well as journal prompts. So be sure to do those. That's going to help you integrate everything that you've learned. So for those of you that don't know me very well, I'll give you a little bit about my background. I was in corporate for 20 years, and part of that, I really struggled with overworking, proving myself, having to do so much all the time, and really depleting my energy, depleting my reserves. And so I really found a way to kind of overcome that burnout and live my life so much more balanced. And a lot of that I'm going to teach you right now. These techniques that I learned throughout my years, the things that I don't want other people to go through that same struggle, to have to go through it in the length of time that I did. So I want to be able to kind of shorten that amount of time so that you can live more fully and more present in the now instead of that struggle that I went through. Because what happens to a lot of us is that our past really dictates what we are, because our present life just gets so busy. Just like me, right? We get busy with so many of our responsibilities, taking care of other people, having all these projects that we might have in place, this huge to-do list that we have to take care of. So whether it's the weekdays or the weekends, everything kind of just blends together, and it just becomes like Groundhog's Day. I felt like, where we're just doing the same things over and over again, and we rarely get to get up for air and breathe and really take in what our life is like right now. And what I want to let you know is that you are a human being. You're not a human doing. And so there is that beingness that is so important, instead of that constant doing, instead of always getting stuck in that cycle of grinding through life, right? It's important to just be, because we really lose ourselves throughout these years We lose ourselves to our work, to our relationships. You could be, a partner, a mother, a daughter, a husband, brother, sibling, any of those things, right? We get so busy taking care of everyone else. And you keep doing this over and over again, that same thing of caring for others, doing these things, and we forget our own presence. We forget who we really are at our core, and we really don't even stop to realize that we've changed throughout our years. We've grown, and we don't ever take a second to really pause and stop and realize who we are now. What are our interests? What are we confident about, or have we lost some of that confidence throughout our years? Because we are trying to fulfill somebody else's expectations or some society's expectations, cultural expectations, things that people put on us that really aren't deserved, for us to get that put on us. So what is it that we are really putting on ourselves that really isn't our own, and that we're happy to take off, and we need to shed it from our own doing, so that we can happy Thursday, so that we can be the best version of ourselves. And that is when we let go of the past. We let go of all of these things that don't serve us. And, especially as, a coach and a hypnotherapist, I see this. We hold on to our past so tightly. We think that it defines us. And it continues to shape our reality. It continues to tell us and dictate us and control us. And we need to really realize that we're not meant to be controlled by our past. These are limiting beliefs, right? They're telling us that we're not good enough. They're telling us that we're not smart enough. They're telling us that we're not doing enough. And like I said, we are human beings, not human doing. So these limiting beliefs, they keep us stuck, and they keep us in this cycle of not really looking at who we are, not looking at our worthiness, not looking at our confidence or our lack of confidence. And we tend to do things for others, to people please, to not ruffle any feathers. We do these things because that's what we're trained to do, by society, by could be our parents, other loving adults, our teachers, anyone else that's kind of had that focus on us, that has that influence on us. And so we absorb all of these beliefs throughout our lifetime, and we think that that's who we are now. And so I really want you to identify what those beliefs are, and you're gonna get some of those through our journal prompts. What are those beliefs that we're holding on to that aren't serving us anymore? We've outgrown them, and it's time for us to get unstuck and out of those, and really start to confront them. Why do I believe this way? Why is it that I'm operating on this frequency? This is not who I am anymore, and yet I have a bigger capacity, and I'm holding on to this smallness. And so start to look at what it is about your past. What are these behaviors, these patterns that are keeping you in this cycle of stuckness? And how can we get out of it? So start to reimagine who you are, so that you can stop conforming to the expectations of others. I'm going to repeat that one more time because it's so important. Reimagine who you are now in your present moment, the version of you that sits here today, and stop conforming to the expectations of others, so that you can truly be who you are and who you are meant to be. Take the time to embrace who you are now, instead of being busy and constantly running from, right? We run from things because they're so hard for us to handle. It's hard sometimes for us to look within. And so instead of looking within, we run from them. And running from them could be different things for some of us. It could be It could be, binging on Netflix and not wanting to look within. It could be drinking. It could be, going out all the time instead of staying inside once in a while and having some alone time. That constant busyness, that's all a form of running. So, whatever that looks like for you, really start to confront that because you are not that person anymore. And those things that are holding you back are not going to keep holding you back anymore. You're a different version of yourself now. You're ready and you're able to do that because as humans, we've come here to expand. There is a law, it's one of the spiritual laws, and it's called the law of expansion, that you are more than your body, that you are more than your name, that you are more than the labels that society has put on you, that you are more than all of these actions that you do. So look at those. Know that you're more than just that, that you are simply more than these limits that you put on yourself. You are more. You are expansive. And that's why you've really come here. We are a soul having a human experience. So, what do you want this experience to look like? How do you want that experience to be? What identity do you want to take on in this experience? We did not come here to work 60 hours a week, to collect a check and retire at 65. That is just the paradigm that society has put on us. But that's not truly why we've come, why we've embodied this human body. We've come for so much more. And yet we become stuck. And so, how do we expand, right? We want to expand our consciousness. And so, I want to talk to you all about these four stages, these four levels of consciousness. And I want you to pay attention and notice which level you are. Which level could you be at right now? And where would you love to be at? So, that first level of consciousness is the to me level of consciousness. And that is the victim conscious. And so, in this level, everything is happening to you. It's characterized by this feeling of feeling powerless and having that sense of victimhood. And, you're really allowing these external circumstances that are happening to you control you. They're controlling how you're feeling, how you're doing, what your external world looks like. And it almost kind of consumes you and you feel like you have little control over your life now because you've really become a victim to it, like that's the stage says. And so you start to feel trapped, that these situations keep on happening to you, right? You put yourself in this loop, this constant loop, that these circumstances happen. So whether it's a stressful job or a difficult relationship or even these financial struggles, they keep happening because you're in that victim circumstance. You could be saying things to yourself like, I'm broke because of X. I can't do this because of X. Whatever that X factor is for you, it's outside of yourself. It's not within you, it's outside of you. And so that is where that victimhood comes in. So now that next level of consciousness is the by me consciousness. And this is becomes more of the responsibility consciousness. So in here, in this level of consciousness, everything is happening by you. And so this is where you start to release some of the control, release that victim thinking, and you want to start to take your power back. You're trying to take your power back. And the way that you're doing that is by taking that responsibility back and starting to make choices for your life. You start to change the self-talk and it becomes more empowering. You may even start going to more personal development events just like this one where you're starting to realize that you want more power and control back in your life. And so you're trying to make these efforts to do that, which is great because you're really starting to overcome that victimhood at this point. Now, what gets people stuck in this stage is that you believe that you must work harder to do that. And so what happens is this is where a lot of these high achievers, these, the people that are really ambitious, they sit and they get stuck in this particular stage. And the reason why they get stuck in the stage is because it is that by me circumstances where you feel like you have to continuously do things. And in order to get anything done, it has to happen only by you. And so you're constantly doing, 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 and you get stuck in this stage. So it's better than the victimhood stage where you don't feel like you have in control. But here you almost get overwhelmed because you're doing too much. And, if you have a career, you're in that hustle and grind all the time. You want to prove yourself all the time. And you do that by constantly doing. And what ends up happening to most people as they are in this stage is that they begin to feel really, really drained, really, really burnt out because you're in that mode of doing. So start to recognize some of these stages and where you could be and what stage this is as I'm continuing on because in this stage this is where I see a lot of burnout. A lot of my clients that I work with as a coach helping women with their overworking and their overwhelm, their stress, their anxiety, they sit a lot in this stage because they want to take control. They're the ones that have these checklists of things that they want to do, and they don't want to relinquish that control. Everything has to happen by them. They don't want to trust other people to help them because it only can happen by them, and it's draining, it's exhausting. This is the stage where I see a lot of that burnout happening. Now the third stage is the stage called through me. And in this stage, it's the surrender consciousness. So here you're starting to operate as as the universe, a higher level of existence is operating through you. So you begin to trust that. You begin to trust that that the universe, God, source, anything higher than you is happening through you, and they're guiding you through these goals. This is where you begin to let go, relinquish that control. And you see these challenges as opportunities, and you begin to be more in the flow state. And so you're operating as that well, being through happening through you. So yes, I see this comment of it's happening with my classmates. They get off of work and head straight into class without napping or even eating. Exactly, right? Self-care is so important, right? This is why these stages are so important. If you're constantly in that stage of things doing all the time, then you're not looking within. And so we're not growing and expanding. And so when you get to this through me stage, you really are having that higher level of expansion, that higher level of growth, because you're realizing that it's happening through you, and you're starting to really be in touch with yourself more. So what does that being in touch with yourself more be? It could be that you're choosing your thoughts more, and those thoughts are changing your reality more. So things on the outside are starting to change. You're starting to be in the flow with things instead of all these bad things happening to you and getting overwhelmed by them. And so even when these quote unquote bad things happen to you, you see them as opportunities for your growth, for your expansion, as lessons that you could be learning in this lifetime on how to be better, how to work with other people differently. And so, even, some small thing as an argument with somebody, you start to realize what is it within me? What is it within me that needs to operate differently so that my relationships can be different? And so it is this higher level of learning that you go through. And as you do that, you connect more with your intuition. Your intuition is your GPS. It guides you through everything. It's that gut instinct that you have. And so many times in other stages, the other two stages, we push that gut instinct away. And oftentimes, you might hear yourself telling yourself, man, I should have listened to myself more. Or, I got that nudge, but I just shoved it down. And so in this stage, you start to follow those nudges more. You start to trust it. And you know that these nudges are happening for a reason. This is your intuition, it's your inner knowingness that you're now connected to more and more. And this is what continues to guide you through your life and through even some of the difficult parts of your life, because you realize that everything is happening for your own good. And so this intuition, as you follow it, it becomes more and more natural, and you start to follow it more and more. It becomes a part of you. And so you don't fight it anymore, but you continue to do and operate in this way of that continuous flow. And you start getting those downloads and you start hearing them, and things are just generally working out for you. Um, and then you know your power and you stand confidently aligned with it. And that's so important. Everything is happening for your highest good. And so the last stage is the asman stage. And this is that oneness stage. It's oneness consciousness. And in this level, you're at one with everything. Everything is happening as you. It's characterized by feeling connected to everything and everyone. So you start to realize that everyone and everything is just a mirror image of you, of yourself, of what still needs to be worked on. And at a higher level, you start to realize that we are all part of that one being. And so what is in another person is also in you. And you start to recognize the soul in that person is also that soul in you, that fractal of the oneness. And when you start to realize that, you realize that there is nothing outside of us, that everything is within you, the power lies within you. So then you start to be more in harmony with life. And you start to realize that your potential is literally limitless because you have everything within yourself, all the tools, all the intuition, all the knowledge, all the wisdom. Everything is already within you, just waiting to be released, waiting for you to tap into it. And here you might literally think that there is no such thing as problems. These are just pop opportunities. You have that knowingness within you. You ultimately know your power because that power lies within you. It's the power of the universe, the power of consciousness, the power of God source, that wisdom within, and you stand aligned in it confidently. And when something is feels a little off kilter, you're quickly and easily kept right back. So you become limitless. You're unstoppable, like the song that I had on just now at the beginning. You know that that lies within you and you have no problem with tapping into it. It just flows through you naturally and you are one. So there is no wrong level. I want you all to know that, right? All of this is part of your experience. This is why you've come on earth. This is why we've become embodied as these beautiful human beings that we are. So don't leave here thinking that I have to be somewhere. Just continue to be aware. That's why I wanted to bring these up. They're just this is the journey called life, and having this awareness now, you know what level you are. And when you're having an off day, give yourself grace. Say, okay, you know what, I recognize that I'm stepping into this doingness, or this victimness. And take some time to pause, recalibrate, and then go back into that flow, back into the another stage that you want to tap into. And at the beginning, it might take time. So like I said, give yourself grace, but know that all of this is possible for you. Um, it just gives you a better understanding of how you're presenting yourself to the world and to yourself. So just be aware of that. And then, as you're going through these stages, we want to identify what your identity is because that too changes. And as I talked about before, with all the busyness, all the doing, everything that we have done, and that we've gotten to ourselves at this point, we've gotten so busy that we don't recognize what it is that our gifts are. Each and every one of us has a gift. Some of us don't even recognize what that gift is because we almost take it for granted, right? Like I know people who their mere presence lights up the people around them, and they have no idea. For some people, it's their voice. The things that when they interact with someone else, it's simply that they say one thing and that just lights up somebody. And, like these are the people that you might hear, you might get like, oh, remember when you said that to me? I will never forget. Remember when, you mentioned this to me or this advice you gave me? I keep that advice with me all the time. It's it's these simple things that people don't even recognize as their gifts. It may not be this huge thing that we see, in people on, TV or in the media, right? Like the Dalai Lama who may have all this wisdom, right? And that could be you too. You may have all this untapped wisdom that's waiting to come out, but don't take your gifts for granted. Recognize them. There is no such thing as a small gift or a big gift. We all have come in with these gifts, and these gifts are our talents. You can take them to work with you. You can take them everywhere you go with you. This is literally your unfair advantage over others. It is literally what makes you unique. It is your unique blueprint to this world. You are different than every other human in this world. And it is these gifts, your unique blueprint, that makes you so different, that makes you so unique. There is no one else like you in this world. No one, no being that ever has existed, is existing, or will exist is exactly like you. And to know that is so beautiful. And I want you to take that and know that and continue to carry that with you well beyond this class. So, what are your gifts? How do we find out what they are? Well, what lights you up? What is something that you love to do and you could lose time doing it? Maybe you don't even know anymore. It could be something from your childhood. How did you lose time as a child? I know for me, I used to love reading as a child and I could lose time reading books. Well, that became an unfair advantage because I gained a lot of knowledge from that. And now I get to take that knowledge that I learned from reading all those books and bring that into my own and then share my knowledge with the rest of you. So I integrate what I learned. You can't just take books and read, read, read. You've got to take the time to integrate what you've read and then share. So that's what you do with your gifts. Not only do you integrate, but you're here to share your gifts with the world, not to hide them. So figure out what those gifts are and then embody those gifts, take full control of those gifts. Those are yours to keep and to share. So don't just keep them, but the second part is so important. Share them with the world. That's your imprint on the world, is your legacy. That is how you give back to the world. That is how people will remember you. These little imprints of your gifts that you made, how you made someone feel, what you said to that person that changed the trajectory of their life. It may be something small to you, but it could be something huge to someone, and you don't even know it. So, what is that? You may think it's distant and it may be hard for you to find, but if you slow down and you continue to do this inner work, you will find it. Start to play around. What are your passions? What is your purpose? Play around, try new things. I know I never thought that I would enjoy art, but then I realized that I love to paint and I love to do acrylic painting. I never thought I was a great artist, Um, but it's just a way for me to express myself. So how are you using your creativity to express who you are and who your soul is? What is that about you? It could be writing, it could be music, it could be anything. Allow that creativity to express through you and start to discover what it is that you truly enjoy. Various creative channels, exactly. That's how you're going to discover your gifts. Go to different classes, take different workshops, see what really, really resonates with you, and continue to expand and grow. That's how you really recognize what your purpose is. That's how you recognize what your gifts are and what you're here to give back to the world. So reconnect with your interests, your passion, and then you'll gain that confidence. Like, yeah, I know who I am. I'm not just, these titles, but I'm so much more. My being is so much more. Now I'm connected to it. I'm connected to my gifts, my passions, my interests, my unfair advantage. All of that is within you and it's waiting to be explored, waiting for you to look within to figure out what it is that awaits. It's these beautiful little treasures that we've brought into this lifetime. We don't even recognize them. We don't even recognize how much we have, this untapped potential that's just waiting for us to discover them. Those little treasures, like I said. So go within and really tap into these treasures. And I can't wait to hear what you find from them. And then, lastly, what I want to talk about is that empowerment. Who are you at your core? What is the true version of you outside of everything that people, have said, what society says, what culture says, what your titles say, what has been asked of you, what is expected of you? Who are you really when you look within? What is your soul really? How when you reconnect with that soul, when you become that authentic person who you are at your core. And so these are 5 things that I've come up with to really help you feel more empowered and get that empowerment from within. So the first one is to seek knowledge and growth. This is a lifetime commitment. When you feel empowered, you have that knowledge from within and you have that sense of certainty. So commit to that lifelong learning and that personal growth, right? This is part of your journey from now on. This is who you are from now on. You're a seeker of wisdom, of growth, of becoming, continuously becoming the best version of yourself that you can be. And you do that through trying different things, reading, learning, having these experiences throughout your life. Start to embrace these new challenges and see them as opportunities. So if something happens, what's the opportunity for me to learn and grow here? That person didn't do that to you. This experience is happening for you. So this is how we continue to learn and grow when we see these opportunities that are happening for us, really as opportunities, as hard as we think they are. Acquire new skills, like I said, right? Explore that within yourself and continuously evolve so that you can reach your fullest. Get coaches and mentors. And in a few minutes, I'll invite you. I would love to be your mentor and coach too. If I'm someone that resonates with you, and if not, I completely understand. But get those coaches and mentors that are there, that have done this already, that have done the work, that have already walked this path. Why walk it alone? Why walk it alone when you can have somebody that will hold space for you, that can guide you and support you through this journey so that you don't feel alone? So that is that seek knowledge and growth. That was number one. Number two is embrace vulnerability. I think a lot of times we run from vulnerability because it's scary. It's hard for us to be in this state of vulnerability. It's uncomfortable. But understand that vulnerability is actually a strength. When you seek it, it is a strength. It's not a weakness. And so allow yourself to be vulnerable. See those parts of you that are vulnerable. Some of those are your greatest assets. People say, I'm sure some of you have heard this, and I hear this a lot from my clients. People say I'm too sensitive. I hear that all the time. You know what? There is nothing wrong with that. Your sensitivity is a great asset. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let the world shun you from that. That is who you are. And that's a beautiful thing. That allows you to connect with other people in a way that some people can't. It allows you to be compassionate, to empathize, and there's nothing wrong with that. It allows you to feel emotion strongly. Nothing wrong with that. So be vulnerable. Allow that vulnerability to come from within instead of running from it and just blocking. So that also opens the door for you to, have these authentic relationships, these real relationships where you can talk about things and be vulnerable with people that are like-minded, that understand you, and that are also into growing and this personal development. So that's number two for being empowered is embrace vulnerability. The third one is to practice self-love. Now, that looks different for so many different people. It's not just soaking in a bathtub and, Epsom salt, right? It could be if that is what it is for you, but it's giving yourself grace. It's loving yourself through these difficult times, knowing that you can be vulnerable and it's okay. It's appreciating yourself daily and doing things that serve you daily. That's self-love. So self-love for you could look like allowing yourself to meditate 10 minutes a day or writing, doing some gratitude journaling. It could be saying, you know what, instead of forcing myself to cook today, I'm going to order a meal. And that is my self-love. It could be different things for different people. It's how you're giving yourself grace and compassion. Because that same grace and compassion you give to other people, you should also be giving to yourself. Treat yourself as your best friend. You're going to be with yourself your entire life. You might as well love the person that you are with for your entire life. That version is your biggest cheerleader. It's going to help you go through the toughest times in your life, the times that are the darkest moments. Sometimes we call them the dark night of the soul, because those are the times that are so difficult, but they're also the most pivotal because they change you. So become your biggest advocate, your biggest cheerleader, and practice that self-love, knowing that self-love fosters the resilience. It fosters self-worth. This is an essential element of feeling empowered. That was number three. Number four is find your purpose. And so that is finding purpose in the everyday moments. It doesn't have to be this huge thing like, oh, I have to go and seek my purpose now. It could be just finding purpose in the little things. Smile at someone, make them feel special. Smile at yourself. Tell yourself your worth. It isn't this grand mission that everybody wants to make it to be. It could be these daily activities that you do that are also impacting you and making you feel more empowered in these everyday experiences that you discover. So seek meaning and find intention in those daily actions, no matter how small you think they are. And let those moments guide you so that you feel more fulfilled every single day, so that you can go to bed feeling fulfilled and happy and grateful for your day. That's the purpose of life. It's the everyday moments. You might be great one day to everyone and be so amazing, but how are you every single day? It's that consistency that's so important. And the fifth one is start taking radical responsibility for your choices, for your actions, and for your reaction. Start to own your life. You are the creator of your life. So, whatever you do, however you react, however you treat someone, however you treat yourself, take responsibility in that. Own it. That is a part of you. Maybe you have difficult relationships with somebody. Take responsibility in that. What did I do to create this? And now how can I grow from this? How can I become a better version from this so that I don't repeat this pattern? So that now I bring better, healthier relationships into my life. That's how we take radical responsibility. That's how we learn and grow. That's how we become empowered in our life. It's through understanding our actions and reaction that we recognize how empowered we truly are, and that we can really take control of our life, which is what I talked about right at the very beginning. How can we take control? Start implementing these 5 things into your life. Start owning your life and gaining control over it. And that's this foundation that you're going to create for lasting change. This isn't just stuff that happens overnight. It's going to take some time. It's going to take that inner work, but it's so worth it, because in the end, you're going to be more confident. You're going to be more empowered. You're going to be the version of yourself that's always wanting to come out. You're going to love and trust yourself completely because you've taken this radical responsibility for your life. And you're not going to be a victim. You're going to own it completely from this day forward. From the moment you get off this class, and when you start doing those writing prompts, start to take responsibility. Start to see your life for what it is, an opportunity. We've all been blessed with this life, regardless of what it looks like for you. There's always beauty in these everyday moments that I want you to start taking. So start to ask yourself, what do I want for myself? What do I want for my career, my business? How do I want my relationships to look like? What do I want my health to look like? What does true inner happiness look like for me? Where does it come from? What is my connection to God, the universe, consciousness, source? How am I connecting to it every day so that I increase those levels of consciousness that I just talked about? And I go into that state, right? That level of asmi consciousness, because now I'm connected always and I feel it flowing through me always. Start to make space for that person to show up, and that person will show up every day in their own way, and it's going to look beautiful. And then start to take those steps every day to step fully into who you were meant to be. And if you are ready to step fully into who you were meant to be, I'm now going to invite you to join my 6-week course that starts on October 23rd, and it's called Align. It's my aligned mentorship. And I'm so excited about this, because if what you like and what you heard today is something that you want to continue to work on, and you want that help and support by someone like me who's gone through it and gone through it many times, different iterations, and has come back and is so in love with her life and in love with the people that she gets to meet and in love with her clients and make space for her clients so that they can grow and learn and have these opportunities in their life so that they can reconnect. If everything that you have heard on this call is something that you want to continue to work on, my goal is for you to end 2024 stronger than you or 2023 stronger than you've ever been. And that's why I'm making it 6 weeks. 6 weeks of working with me in a group setting, having a mentor like me so that we can really truly end this quarter, October through December strong. So that when you come out of those 6 weeks, that version of you is confident, it's collected, it's connected with herself, himself, connected with the universe, God, consciousness. They know themselves, they know their intuition, they have that inner knowingness, they know their worth, they know their inner spark has been lit, they know their gifts, their purpose, their unfair advantage, all of these things that I talked about. If you want to go way deeper into this, I invite you now to message me or schedule a call with me so that I can talk to you about what it is. I'm going to go through my signature rise framework through these 6 weeks. And I really integrate not just coaching, but also I'll have a session for hypnotherapy so that we can really get into the subconscious mind and really make lasting changes that are within our subconscious mind at a deeper level. It's not going to be those lower superficial levels. It's going to be much deeper so that those changes last, so that I can help you really integrate what it is that you're learning at a deeper level, at that subconscious level, so that you can function higher in the way that you really truly deserve to function. I'm also going to have a coffee talk. And so it's going to be Saturday morning where we all in the group get together. You can ask me questions. We can talk about what's going on. We just kind of get to know each other better. It's really forming that supportive community of like-minded people, people that really support you. And through that, also, I'm going to have a Telegram chat, and that Telegram chat is just daily chat. You can talk about things that are bothering you, your ahas, things that have really worked out well for you on this Telegram. I'll be on that Telegram supporting you along the way, along this 6 weeks. And I'll give you my insights and I'll talk about the things that are going on in my life that I want you to be aware of so that it'll help you learn and grow and, really kind of start to embody these changes, embody the version of you that is really reaching their fullest potential. And I want to really, really help you make those quick shifts into your life so that you can be that expanded version of yourself. So if this is feeling good, this call is feeling good, take everything from this call with you and start to integrate it. But now, if you know that you need help and you want that help, and you know that, you know what, I love what you're saying, but I need somebody to help me and I want to integrate this more in my life. Something is missing from my life and I need someone who's done it already to help guide me and hold space for me. I want my relationships, my health, my wealth, my happiness, my fulfillment, all of that to come together in 6 weeks. And I want to do it, by the end of this year so that I can start 2024 so much different than how this year went for me. I want it to be so much more expansive for me. Then I invite you to either book a call with me or talk to me. Right now, um, I am having a pre-Thanksgiving or pre-Black Friday sale on my price on the 6 weeks. I've never ever had anything this low. So now would be the best time to take advantage of this pricing, this early bird pricing that I have set for you. So feel free to reach out to me through email, through messages, through through any of my social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, any of these normal channels, reach out to me so that I can talk to you. We can see if you're a good fit for my aligned program. We start October 23rd. We're going to finish before Christmas so that you can have a great Christmas holiday season and then start the new year. So at this point, I am going to stop the recording and I'm going to stay on for a few minutes. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take any questions about the program or about anything that I discussed. Give me a second to stop.